Hi everyone. Good evening or good day, whatever time it is where you are. I'm Samantha, I'm a therapist, and I'm doing a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety, which I think I've pretty much conquered at this point. So this is video 81 out of 365. So thank you for being here with me. And I thought today we'd talk about mental diet, if you've ever heard of that or not. And I've got a subscriber comment I thought I would dig into a little bit too. So this lovely viewer, she said, would love to hear more one day about working through feeling like you have to earn love. Even with the emotional and social awareness, we're all deserving of it, but how to be patient with learning and practicing that. I find it difficult even with affirmations, therapy, etc. Just that specific category, especially in avoiding romantic relationships. I can't seem to beat it. So I thought we would talk about that a little bit today. And so first of all, mental diet, have you guys heard of that or not? A lot of people talk about this. And basically what I just call the mental diet is, what are you saying to yourself all day long? And what are you assuming about yourself? And we got to watch what we're feeding ourselves, watch what we're eating in our mental diet, which means watch what you're saying to yourself. And on a daily basis, I look at it like, we wouldn't put bad food into your body if you're on a diet. You wouldn't want to, at least. I mean, you might want to eat badly, but you're going to watch your diet more. So if we're going to be watching what we put into our bodies, we need to also watch what we're putting into our minds. So the mental diet is just kind of talking nicely to yourself and keeping the more thoughts that don't serve you out of your head. That's the goal. So and dieting can be hard sometimes, as we know. So it takes steps to remember who you are, who you truly are. So you have to keep reminding yourself. That's why I'm going to be talking about kind of the same stuff over and over, just with different topics, but it ends up being the same type of suggestions to try, because there really is only a couple of answers to fix pretty much everything. So, but I like to say things in different ways. And when people ask questions, I like to answer them as best as I can. So, but I saw somebody else asked about mental diet on somebody else's video, so I thought I'd bring that up yet again, because I think it's so important how you speak to yourself. And the way you speak to yourself is in correlation with what you believe about yourself. And that is also in correlation with what you have given a definition to from like what you've made meaning out of. So if something happened, you gave it a meaning about yourself and you internalized it, and then it became a belief and a belief system. And then you had thoughts that correlate with that. And you have, then you speak to yourself the way that you believe and think about yourself. And also that shows up how you think and feel and behave with other people as well, and what you believe about them. So think about where you have these definitions that might be stopping you from living your best life. What have you made mean about you when in your childhood you were abused, neglected, left alone a lot, and had to kind of survive on your own and kind of deal with your emotions? Maybe someone told you to stop crying, go to your room. That's where you cry, is go to your room. Or you get in trouble for crying, or you get in trouble for talking or giving your opinion. I used to hear, kids should be seen and not heard, that whole thing. And so now I'm just a talker. So you're going to hear me, damn it. So I think a lot of us go through that. We feel ignored, or we feel shot down. So then that makes it mean I'm not important, or I don't matter, or my thoughts and feelings don't matter. And then we carry that on into our intimate relationships. So herein lies what the subscriber had asked about. Now, what stuck out to me was avoiding romantic relationships. And so I look at that as, and these are just my opinions and theories in my videos. So you always do your own research on these things. There's, all the attachment disorders and all of these things. And if you're interested in learning about that, you can go right ahead. I just tend to deal with things a little more simply, instead of labeling so many things like we do in society. Everything is just labeled so much. Like, I'm I mean, if I had to label myself, I was like the anxious attachment person. And of course, the anxious attachment person gets with an avoidant attachment person. Why not? And so, I've had to learn how to deal with all of that and, still be my loving self instead of becoming bitter. That's the goal. So, for me at least it was. So, when you're avoiding something, when you're avoiding anything, I look at it like you're avoiding something within yourself that comes up that you are either afraid to heal, or you don't know how to heal, or you just don't feel like doing it. For maybe it's uncomfortable, or maybe you've tried before and feel like you failed at it before. So why even try again? So that again comes down to self-concept. Now, this person had said, working like you have to feeling like you have to earn love from people. We have the emotional and social awareness, yes, but how to be patient and with learning and practicing that. So the way that I did things like this, where I would get really still, and I would get really silent, and I would just go within myself and just start listening to if any thoughts came up out of nowhere. I would kind of keep them in the forefront. I would observe my thoughts. Instead of absorbing everything that we see, it's time to just observe. Be curious about what pops up in your mind and maybe why it did. Do not absorb the world. You want to live in the world, but not be of the world, because the world is just an external reflection of you anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Remember, it's chewed up old bubble gum. It doesn't have any flavor left in it. Why are we messing with it? It needs to go in the garbage at this point. So we need to create a new feeling. And so I learned to generate the feelings from within by imagining things. So I keep this very simple. Like I said, it's when I learned about Neville Goddard. If you do not know about Neville Goddard, maybe look him up. He's got tons of lectures. And someday I may, teach out of some of his books. That's kind of a goal of mine, because I love a lot of his stuff. And eventually I will be doing that. But he was like a Christian mystic, I guess you would call him. And he taught his own interpretations of the Bible and kind of used, manifestation in correlation with that. So, and he talked about self-concept and all of these things. And so, the imagination creates reality. And so if you're imagining something, like when you say, learn how to be patient with learning and practicing. If you're not, I look at it like you don't need patience when you are present. You don't need patience when you're present. When you're present, you're only present. When you're not present, you don't have patience, because you're trying to fix something that's in the future, and you have no tools in the future. You only have tools in the now. So when you're present, in the present moment right now, all you have is now, and you get to decide what you do with your now, and then that now turns into another now, and another now, and another now, and pretty soon you're in your future, because you've been dealing with your now. So you don't need patience if you're present. So that's one thing to remember. So it's practicing being present with yourself. A lot of people, I think, find it uncomfortable because they've never done that before. And so it is a practice. It is like a mental gym that you're in, if we want to call it that. You're developing the muscle of the mind, and you're redesigning yourself. So you get to decide how you're going to design your mind and your life. And so to do that, I recommend stillness. And in the Bible, I know it says, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Know. There's a big difference in between wanting and hoping and knowing. When you have a knowing, so you're present with yourself, when you have a knowing of something, like we know we're deserving of love, we know we don't have to earn it. Well, the only way to start believing that is to saturate your mind with it. We have to create a new neural network in the brain, because we've got this old neural network that just says, I gotta fix something now. It's kind of a state from like a trauma state, I think, from childhood. Again, it's like we feel like we have to fix something, or we feel like we have to do something now. We have to find a solution right now. And that just brings more anxiety and frustration, I feel. And so when I learned to get still, that is when everything changed for me. And I started just listening to my thoughts as they pass through, just be curious about them. And when a feeling came up, I would just let it pass through my body. And what I mean by that is feel it. You might have tears, you might have anger, just let it, literally, you'll feel it. I promise you, if you'll actually sit there for a few seconds and talk to yourself while you're doing this, say, I feel this feeling. Oh my gosh, I can feel it in my stomach, I can feel it in my chest, I can feel it, oh, this hurts, I don't like this. And after you acknowledge it and actually feel it, you can actually feel it exiting your body. I've done this many times, and it is so interesting to just like feel that energy leave your body. It's really just needing acknowledgement. And then underneath that, what feeling do you have from, like, what is it attached to as far as a belief about yourself? So what did you make something mean about yourself that created that feeling? No one created your feelings for you, or your emotions, or anything, or your thoughts, which is awesome, because that means that if you created all of them, you can create new ones, uncreate and create new ones that will replace those old crappy ones. So yeah, there's no need for patience when you're present. And as far as yeah, when you're not patient with yourself, then that's the time to actually start talking to yourself about, I need to take some time out, because sometimes we're so busy that we don't, like, we put ourselves on the back burner. That's another thing that we do. And we don't teach ourselves to be still and just be, like, just be with yourself, be with your thoughts, and just see what happens, see what comes up. There is no hurry. That's the other thing. You're never going to be done growing and learning and evolving. You're never going to be done. So when I learned that, I said, what am I in a hurry for? What if you want to be married and you've never been married, and you're 65 years old, you've never been married, and you want to be married? I thought about things like that, and I was like, if we have one eternal moment, right, which is right now, what am I in a hurry for? There's never a done. We're done whenever we're like out of our bodies, you know, and we're passed away. And that's when we're, quote, done, but with the earthly experience at least. So it's like, why are we hurrying? What's the point of hurrying? And it's because of, I would assume, trauma, past issues that you've had with other people, where you felt like you failed with them, or this or that. You failed yourself, whatever the case may be. And so the more time you take to just remember that all I need to do is work on my now. That's it. And that does not require patience whatsoever. You just be in the now. And you start to get used to thinking that way all of a sudden. There's no, like, once you change your identity as well, once you decide, because I keep hammering this, it's like you have life number 1, life number 2. The 1.0 you, the 2.0 you. So if you want to become 2.0 you, that feels better than 1.0. So it's logical that you have to think differently than 1.0. You've got to think differently. And so to do that, you've got to identify with something else. So if we say, I avoid relationships, that is your 1.0 identity. You are identifying with, I avoid this. But what if you started saying, I could maybe start opening up to that. I could maybe start opening up. I could start opening up with myself first and get intimate with myself first. I think that, and then that's your 2.0 talking. And eventually you start to shift that way naturally once your identity changes. And it's just the best thing in the world. I promise you, anybody can get there. It does just take that, that presence. Because again, you don't have the tools that you have today, tomorrow. You've got them right now. And so the best tool you can ever have is stillness and your imagination. So imagine what you want. And first of all, we got to know what we want. What's your desire? What really lights you up? If you want a relationship, what about that lights you up? what would that feel like? Have you had one before? If you have, pick something, a little gem out of that relationship that made you feel so good, and hold on to that and take that into the next you. And you kind of just drift that way out of just, I promise I've done this, and you literally start feeling differently. You feel like you're in a different environment almost. You feel like a different person. You start being attracted to different people, different foods. You might sleep less or sleep more. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. I've been attracted to different foods and I sleep a little bit less. And I just not attracted to the same friends, or I don't know. It's just so strange, more picky about where I spend my time. Sorry guys, I lost my whole train of thought there. I had to edit that part out. I don't know where I was. The best relationship you can have is with yourself. That's all that matters. And then once you cultivate that and you nourish yourself every day through your mental diet, that helps a lot. Then at night, you do your state akin to sleep, which is Neville Goddard. State akin to sleep is what they call the drift. It's like the time between sleep and being awake. It's just that little space in there when your brain is in, I think it's theta. And so your brain has slowed down enough to be able to help the subconscious grab a hold of whatever you're imagining. And then it has nowhere to go but to mirror in your reality eventually. But it's all about feeling. Neville Goddard says feeling is the secret. So feeling something is what makes it so potent and powerful. And so if you imagine what it would be like, you could start with yourself. I always recommend starting with yourself with everything. I mean, this is the answer to everything, is shifting your identity to the person that you want to become. How would they feel? What would they think? How would they behave? What would they wear? How would they walk? How would they talk? What would they drive? How would they just feel on a daily basis that maybe you're not feeling today? And so, what's the difference in between each reality? Your reality you're living now versus the new reality. What's the difference there? And then you start noticing, well, what is the difference? Well, I feel better over here, and I have this, and I'm doing this. Start imagining yourself doing those things. Start imagining how it would feel, and then as soon as you imagine, just close your eyes and imagine it, you're generating that feeling from within, and you immediately are starting to not be the 1.0 anymore. You're going over to the 2.0 now, immediately, because your state shifted. Your goal is to shift your state. All of these other things that we're looking for outside of ourselves, like an intimate relationship, let's say, they really don't matter. I look at them like the icing on the cake. You are the cake, they are the icing. Or you are the cake, your new car is the icing. Or you are the cake and your new job is the icing, or whatever it is that you're wanting. It is hot out here. I'm sweating. It's so humid. Woo, it's humid. I'm almost done with this video. I'm probably glistening. I am just hot. So remember that you are the cake. All you got to do is take care of your cake. That's it. The icing will come later. But what you're ultimately wanting, no matter what you're wanting, is to feel good. So you think that you're going to feel better in the having of whatever you're looking for. And so even with having patience, and we think we're going to feel better when we're patient. And it's like, no. We don't even need to worry about patience. We just need to be present with ourselves. Because when you're in the present moment, nothing else matters. And then it starts to shift. You start to shift, and you'll notice a shift in everything else. And I'll be talking more about this in depth, but I just wanted to kind of touch on this again, that self-concept is number one. How do you see yourself? What do you believe about yourself? And staying present in the now moment, remembering that we only have now. What time is it? It's now. Every time you ask what time it is, it's now. So what are you going to do with your now? And that will just take care of itself. If you say everything will take care of itself. I always get what I want. I'm always taken care of. I'm always provided for. There's abundance all around me. You got to start saying these things yourself instead of noticing the lack of something too. So you're either noticing lack or you're noticing abundance. You get to choose which one you're noticing, because if you're aware of lack, you're only going to get lack, because it's your consciousness. It's what you're conscious of that is all you will see. It's like being on 92.1 on the radio. So you're aware of scarcity over here, but you want to be aware of abundance. Well, you got to flip your dial over here to 104.5. That's what you got to do. And it really is that simple. It's just we make it very, very difficult with, I think, with labels and all the information we have out there about disorders and all of these things. It's just, it's so confusing. And I was confused too. And I'm a therapist, for God's sake. You know, I was confused about everything. I got into, you know, neuroscience and quantum physics and psychology and just everything I was doing, techniques, different modalities, just so many things. It wasn't even funny. And that's whenever I found that law of assumption or call it the law of whatever works for you. I'm serious. Whatever works for you is what works. And I did learn that. I was like, golly, there's got to be some magic bullet here, you know? And really it is what you believe is true because you believe it. So that is therefore true to you. So I was like, well, if I could believe something else, then maybe something else could be true. And I was like, okay. And then I learned that, you know, imagination creates reality. And I was like, okay, so I just have to imagine things. And then I promise you, I've imagined things and they've happened. I've imagined things and then I've been led to do this and this and this that I was passionate about. Even if it's passionate about cleaning out a drawer. Well, cleaning out that drawer might lead you to, you know, you find a business card in there and you think of this old friend of yours that has the same name as the person on the card, their first name. And you're like, oh, maybe I should call them. And you call them and then you talk and then they've got a job opportunity for you that you never even thought you wanted. I mean, things happen like that. It's synchronicity. So follow your passion always, and it leads to synchronicity. It leads to the bridge of incidents is what Neville calls it. So you've got this bridge of incidents that happened. Coincidence is what we might call it. But no, it's a bridge of incidents. It's synchronicity. Everything is orchestrated. So you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about being in an intimate relationship. You got to just have fun, enjoy it, and you're only going to learn about yourself more. That's it. You're only here to learn about you. And when I learned that and started practicing that, I was like, that is so true. Like, you're only learning about you when you're with somebody else. Like, you just take yourself with you wherever you go. So you're only avoiding you if you're avoiding other things. And when I heard that, I was like, man, okay, that's true too, to me at least. So yeah, it's something, this is a lifelong practice. This does not, also when I learned that this was never done and there's always gonna be something else, I was like, okay, my anxiety needs to go away. I don't care. That's why I started YouTube. I was like, well, it's now or never, literally. And it's gonna suck at first. You know, I'm gonna suck on video at first. I don't care. I'm sure this video may suck compared to my ones that I'll be doing 100 or 200 videos from now. So, but yeah, it's just all about remembering that you're only in one moment and that's all you need to worry about. Just take care of now and everything will be fine. Everything takes care of itself. But it's just starting to shift from 1.0 you to 2.0 you to start believing that it really is that simple, because the logical mind says, no, it's not that simple. But the magical mind, the real mind, the true mind says that it is. And we never have to earn love. That again comes from childhood abuse and neglect, you know, having to be the people pleaser because we're avoiding the discomfort of being with ourselves. So we feel like I've got to do. We're not human doings, we're human beings. So we've just got to be more. And that requires just sitting with yourself. Just like sit still for 5 minutes a day. Just breathe, sit there and be like, wow, who am I? Who am I, you know? And then like, if nothing comes to you, that's okay. Just go about your day. Try again tomorrow. They call it a meditation practice because it's practice. You've got to practice. And I tell people, you know, you can't get a 4-year degree in, 2 days. It's a 4-year degree. So it's kind of like that with this. It's like you're constantly learning about yourself and you're never done. So just have fun and enjoy every moment that you can, and everything unfolds on its own. So I'll leave you with that today. I hope that helped somebody out there. I hope that helped the subscriber that asked this. If you need more from me, comment and I'll give you some more. But I'll be talking about all this stuff just forever. So, but yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. This light is killing me. I'm blind and I'm sweating. So I will see you guys tomorrow for video 82. You guys have a wonderful night. Thanks. Bye.